In the enchanted world of Disney's Tangled, the fate of Mother Gothel stands as one of the most haunting conclusions in a Disney movie to date. As the movie draws into its third act, Mother Gothel's defeat is showcased as her body rapidly ages and crumbles to ash, leaving only an empty cloak behind. To most, this would be it for the movie, but for me, I was left with so many questions. Where did she go? Why did she turn to ash? Was she already dead all this time? I decided to comb through the extended lore to find my answers, and the results absolutely blew my mind, that I feel I did not know this character properly by just watching Tangled. Join me today as we deep dive into the Walt Disney Diaries and discover what really happened to Mother Gothel at the end of Disney's Tangled. The information in this video comes from Disney's own expanded lore, from behind the scenes details, novels, the TV show Rapunzel's Tangled Adventure and more. To understand why Mother Gothel transformed into ash at the film's end, one must first journey into her shadowy backstory and the forgotten realms from which she emerged. In the timeless lore of Corona's forgotten history, long before Rapunzel's story, there existed a time when magic coursed through the land like rivers untamed. It was in this era, shrouded by the mists of legend, that a young woman named Gothel, born of the haunted Deadwoods, crossed paths with the sage known as Lord Demanitus. Centuries before the Sundrop flower's radiant bloom captivated her, Gothel was not yet the confident villain we know, but a disciple among a select few, gathered under the teachings of Lord Demanitus, a scholar and sorcerer of unparalleled wisdom. Demanitus, chronicled in the backstory of Rapunzel's Tangled Adventure, was someone with profound knowledge on magic, whose intellect bridged the mundane and the mystical. Nestled in a hidden valley was a repository of knowledge, tomes etched with celestial runes, artifacts pulsing with primal energies, and star charts mapping the cosmos' secrets. To Gothel, a young woman already intrigued by the dark arts, Demanitus represented a pinnacle of power, a beacon to illuminate the path to immortality she so desperately craved. As a disciple, Gothel proved herself adept, her mind sharp and her ambition boundless. Demanitus taught his pupils the balance of magic's dual nature, the light of creation and the shadow of destruction. He spoke of the Sundrop flower and its counterpart, the moonstone opal, celestial relics born from cosmic forces, one to heal and renew, the other to rend and unravel. These lessons were not just theory, they were a warning that to wield such powers required an understanding of their origins. Gothel, however, absorbed these teachings. Where Demanitus preached fairness, she saw opportunity, a means to transcend the frailty of her mortal body. His teachings on ancient incantations, especially those that could awaken dormant magic in artifacts, planted seeds in her mind, seeds that would later blossom into obsession when she encountered the Sundrop flower. Yet Gothel's time with Demanitus was not destined to endure. The sage, ever vigilant, sensed a growing hunger in Gothel, a shadow that deepened with each lesson. Her questions veered towards the forbidden, spells to bind life beyond its natural span, rituals to siphon the power from sacred sources. When Demanitus uncovered her secret experiments, attempting to harness minor relics for personal gain, he confronted her. The diaries recount a rift that destroyed their bond. Gothel, defiant and unrepentant, rejected his requests of balance. In her heart, the teachings of harmony became a cage, restraining her from the eternity she sought. It was then that whispers of Xantiri, a demonic entity of chaos and rival to Demanitus, reached her ears. Seduced by promises of uncontrolled power, Gothel betrayed her mentor, forsaking his teachings to align with this dark force. This betrayal marked a turning point, forging Gothel into the figure who would later hoard the Sundrop flower. Demanitus' teachings, though intended to enlighten, had instead armed her with the knowledge to manipulate ancient magics. The incantations she later used, flower gleam and glow, let your power shine, was an incantation taught to her by Demanitus, but she twisted it to serve her vanity. When she later stumbled upon the Sundrop flower, its golden radiance a mirror of Demanitus' tales, she recognised it instantly, not as a gift to be shared. At the heart of Gothel's prolonged existence lay the Sundrop flower, a miraculous artifact born from celestial origins. Legends within Tangled's universe talk of how a solitary droplet of sunlight descended from the heavens, taking root in the earth and blossoming into this radiant golden bloom. Endowed with extraordinary virtues, the flower possessed the ability to mend grievous wounds, cure maladies of the flesh, and, more profoundly, to rewind the sands of time, restoring youth to those who invoked its essence. The flower's gift, however, was no mere cosmetic veil. Gothel concealed it jealously, returning to its glow for centuries, perhaps a millennia, whenever the veil of youth began to fray. This ritual did not simply preserve her appearance, it anchored her very essence, warding off the natural dissolution that should have claimed her long before. In the depths of this dependency, Gothel transcended mortal bounds, becoming akin to a relic animated by borrowed time, a being who, in truth, had perished in spirit years before. Such was the curse of her immortality, a fragile illusion, vulnerable to the slightest distribution. At the end of the film, Flynn Rider, in a final act of sacrifice, severs Rapunzel's hair with a shard of glass. The enchanted locks darken and wither, their magic extinguished. Gothel's facade shatters, the centuries of prevented decay surge forth in an instant. Her flesh withers, her locks turn grey, and frailty overtakes her frame. Stumbling in terror, she stumbles from the tower. By the moment of impact, her entire form has yielded entirely to dust, a testament to the eons that she has evaded death. In this lore, Gothel's end reveals not mere aging, but the collapse of an unnatural preservation, confirming that she had lingered as a spectre of her former self, animated solely by the pilfered light of the sun. Gothel disappeared into ash because she simply was already dead by the time the magic was cut from the world. In many ways, the magic being released was revelation of just how long she'd abused its power and claimed its magic for her own. And more importantly, she was dead long before the events of the film, making her desire to keep Rapunzel in the tower more about trying to save her own life than to hold on to beauty, which I think thickens Gothel's motivations in the film. And that's it for today. I hope you've enjoyed this deep dive into the Walt Disney Diaries. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe for more insight into Disney's forgotten tales. I'll see you in the next video, and remember,
Mother knows best. Don't forget, dear.